I'm gonna go through how to take a catering order because I know this is kind of like some people know how to take a catering order, some don't, and then there's like what's the right way to take a catering order. So I would say if you're on front counter, someone either calls or comes to the counter and wants to know more about catering, I would go for a catering binder. I would just grab a catering, start with paper, and for like I would just walk down this piece of paper with your order. So like how you would like phrase your like wording as you're taking the order is like what day do they want it for, what time do they want to pick up by, their name and their phone number. That's like a lot of good information. The phone number is 100% important. That way, like if you forget information here, or if there's something wrong with their order, or if they're not showing up for their order or anything weird about their order, we can always call them back. What's gonna happen is after you take their order, like say you can't like put it in the system right away, like we're really busy or whatnot, like I'll show you like where to put this, because we do have like a catering staff that follows up with these catering forms. So we have like Nancy, Ellie, we have Caitlin Mann now who's on our team. They like follow up with these catering orders. So I think this is like the best process if we can walk through like this catering paper, because this takes down all the information that they need so that they can get started with the catering order. So once you get, and it would be good too to like put your name so that if they have any questions they can ask you, like say like, hey, like I can't read your handwriting, like do you know what this is supposed to be? Just like a simple question, they can follow up with you. But most importantly, the name and the phone number is really good. That way, like if Nancy or someone has a question, they can just call the guest back and verify. So I would just keep following down this order form. Excuse me. So you can ask them if they want any plates or cutlery for their order, and then that's complimentary with their order, and if they do, so some people might not know that, so you can just let them know, and then ask them how many people are they serving. So we want to know like how many plates and cutlery like should we expect to give them. We don't just want to like give them endless amounts. Like if they're serving 12 people, we'll give them 12 plates. So if they don't want that, you can just put an X over that or 0 or whatever you need to do to mark that they don't want those things, and then you can continue down this catering form. So it's important to note that if the product isn't on the catering form, then we don't allow it for catering. So for example, like fries. We don't do waffle fries for catering. Some people, that's a pretty popular product obviously for us. We'll think that we have like a waffle fry tray, but we don't do waffle fries. The reasoning for that is we can't guarantee their quality after they leave the restaurant, and so you can just explain that to the guests, like quality is really important to us, and so we don't do any catering product for that. But they can always order those things, like attach them onto their catering order when they get here, but we don't have like a catering like tray of waffle fries. And you'll see a few different things like that, like if you take like a breakfast order, we have breakfast things on the back. So you can see like these are our breakfast sandwiches that we do for catering, but you won't see like any like egg or cheese. That's the same reason we can't guarantee the quality for those things. But it is, I would say, use your discretion. If they're saying like, well, that I'm just gonna come in at 7 a.m. and order like 20 burritos, then that might be something good for us to know. But I would let the guests know, like I'm letting you know, like we can't guarantee the quality of that food when you leave. Here's all of our packaged meals. Those are very popular. You can explain those to the guests. This form is really nice too because it kind of makes you sound like the expert when you're talking to them. So like for a small nugget tray, it has 64 nuggets in it. It serves about 8 to 10 people and it's $29. Those are like really a lot of questions that guests normally ask. And so same with like fruit trays, salad trays, like they have it tells you like how many servings that the tray has. And so if you don't know that, like you don't have to memorize those things, like you can just use this form, because those are a lot of questions that they have. It tells you like how many like sauces that each tray gets, and if you can just mark that would be great. And then at the end of the order, so you've taken this whole order, I would ask, would they like us to put a credit card on file for them? So what happens there is we would store their credit card payment in our system, but we would not charge them until they pick it up. So most of you have been at the register when someone's like ready to pick up the payment and you press like that customer prepay button. That's when they're actually charged. They're not charged ahead of time. So you can let the guests know that we'll store that payment information in there. If they want to change anything, that they have time to do that, just let us know ahead of time. Or they don't have to. If they have a larger order, it might be good to get that credit card information just to secure their order, just so if we make like $300 worth of food, that we know that they're going to be here and they'll get it. So this is for pickup. This is like the pickup order form. If you get someone who's asking about delivery, here is the delivery catering form. So delivery is a little bit different. Obviously, so our catering, like for catering delivery, it has to be $150 or more. So someone might call and ask you that question. That's the first thing I would start with. I would say if you want to do catering delivery, we have like our minimum is you have to do $150 or more, or it has to be pickup. Or like, some people ask simple questions like, do you deliver like a Chick-fil-A sandwich? You can refer them to the DoorDash now, since we have that system. If they are doing a delivery of $150 or more and they're just confident about that, you can what I would do is take down their name and number and let Nancy, Ellie, or Caitlin call them back. The reason for that is we don't always have delivery drivers just on hand. We schedule those around our catering deliveries, and so that's something that we would let Ellie and Nancy decide, especially if it's like a same day delivery or a next day delivery. We don't want to guarantee to the guests that we can do that because we might not have the people to do it. So I would just quickly take down their name and number and then send that information to Nancy either through GroupMe or text, and let them know to call them back. And just let them know, like, I'm gonna actually refer you to our catering director, and she can verify whether we can do that delivery for you or not. Otherwise, you can definitely take a catering pickup. Some people will ask over the phone, like, how long in advance do I need to let you know about a catering order? It kind of just depends. If it's like a small nugget tray, like most of you guys know, we can really do that within a short amount of time of notice. If it's like a really big order, like 300 sandwiches, or especially with like cold food, like produce, that's what we would need to know a little bit more in advance. First of all, with like the cold food, if they're ordering like a lot of prep, we need to make sure we have that food, because we need to make sure that we have that food on hand to do that. And then like with assembling sandwiches, if it's a very large order, we need to make sure that we have the people to assemble. So those are all things to consider when you're taking a catering order. If you're unsure, so if you just don't have a lot of experience taking catering orders yet, you can always ask a leader. Just let the guests know, like, you know what, I'm not sure, I'm not confident about that yet. Let me check with another leader, and I'll just put you on hold. So you can always do that. But I would say like this form really does help you walk through everything that you should need to know. And most catering orders that you're taking over the phone, they really are like a nugget or a strip tray, and they might add on like a fruit or salad. So those are pretty simple, and this walks you through that. So my next process is I finished this form, and so like what do I do? So I can open my binder, and these binders are kind of scattered around the store. I found this one in the office. We have one up in the manager stand. There's one in the catering aisle. So I have my form, and if I want to, finish the process, I can put it in the system. So I'll walk you through on how to do that. Say I'm like just crazy busy, like what do I do if I'm so busy? So if I'm too busy, what I'll do is I'll go in the office and I'll put this in one of the catering folders. So for the day that it is, so say today is Monday and this is a catering order for Tuesday, I'll put this in the Tuesday folder, because we have I think Ellie is scheduled on Tuesdays to do catering, so she'll come in the morning and pull out the Tuesday folder, and she'll start preparing things for catering. And so and you can even check on here if it's in the system or not, so I can put yes or no. So she'll go through each order. So that's why the paper is really important, because she'll see everything. If I do have time, I can take my paper form and put it in the system. So I'll walk you through how to do that, just so you guys can see it. So here I'm on the POS screen. So I'd start by going to Other Function, and I would go to Start Deferred Order. So if I press Start Deferred Order, it takes me to this screen. So you guys should know that pickup and delivery charges are totally different. That's why we have two separate catering forms, because the prices on here are totally different. So a delivery for small nuggets is $36, and a small is $29. So that's to consider like for what we're doing for delivery. So if I do that on the system too, it will also consider your delivery charges. So I'm gonna do for pickup. And now since I pressed start as deferred,